Hello and welcome to the third episode of the Ayush and Janak podcast. I'm your host Ayush Nair, and alongside with me today, as always, is the great Janak De Silva, my co-host.
Hello, you beautiful people.
So, Janak, today, let's touch upon the top on career options. And I think what the reason we wanted to touch upon this topic of career is because we've seen a lot of change, especially in career options. Going through that whole, that high school phase that we all feel like we want to be doctors, engineers, and all that, and then we're like, no, we want to just do marketing. So let me just start with you. What made you decide? If I talk from an educational perspective, get first into the whole marketing, doing your bachelor's in marketing, and then doing a role surrounding AI that was into technology and in the marketing field. So, what made you decide all this in the first place?
See, so in the beginning, I actually wanted to be a chef, because I love food and very passionate about it.
That's true.
But then reality hits you. You don't get paid quite a bit by being a chef unless you're like a full celebrity like Gordon Ramsay or so, and then the
Hmm.
possibility of that happening is quite far. So I've always like sort of taught using myself and like connecting with people, making friends come somewhat easily to me. So I was like, okay. And my parents, my mom, she's from a marketing background as well.
Hmm.
And I quite liked it, the fact that you can meet people, you put ideas, a brand can start from nothing, but you can make it into something great. It's all about telling stories. So I was like,
Hmm.
all right, let me try this out. And in the end, everything is about marketing. If you think about it, you're always trying to sell something or buy something, or you're trying to get people to like you. And that's nothing but marketing. Even sales consist of, marketing yourself. So I took marketing, and then it turns out my career took a bit of a change. I didn't go directly into it. From university, I went on to a sales aspect. So it took me to a sort of different approach compared to what I wanted. Um, yeah, I suppose that's what made me do it. To be honest, nothing but money. I did not want to just do one thing and probably not get paid that much. Instead, I wanted to aim big and hopefully reach it soon. But
Hmm.
obviously, it may take a few years to get where I want to be. But yeah, marketing is something I think everyone will come to use, especially in this age where, tech is everything. We're on social media almost like 10, 12 hours a day, depending on where you are.
That's
And
true.
so everything is sold there now, and everything people see that they want to buy. So it's a great time to get into it. Um, and I think in this day and age where, jobs don't come as easily as it used to, finding new ways to market yourself or finding new ways to say, listen, I can do this, this is what I'm good at, or even telling your own personal brand story is a great way to go forward. And in that way, I'm really glad I did choose marketing. What about you? What would
Hmm.
you say, Ayush?
I think if I speak from my educational perspective, um, choosing business to get into business, I was like, as an Indian, you are either presented with two options. You either become a doctor, you become an engineer, or my parents had a long history of being in the government, connected with the government of India. So I was like, or either I had that option of going into the government services, but I wanted to choose somewhere because my older brother was already into engineering. I didn't want to follow his path or any other usual Indian student um, who would choose their career options. I wanted to choose something that one I knew that if I did do well, I know I could excel in that. And that's why I went into business and that's why I went into marketing. Because I feel, and I think, Janet, you rightly pointed out, marketing is not just about how you sell a product or how you sell something. It's about how you sell yourself, in the sense that how you really create that sort of niche to really be unique in order to distinct yourself from like the thousands of others that are there. And especially in this day and age, if I talk about the job market in any country, be it if it's India, Malaysia, you talk about your big countries, your US, your UKs, your Chinas, or Australia, even for the matter of fact, you know for a reason it's so difficult to really put yourself out there because the job market is just so shit. It's just so shit everywhere that you can't get a good paying job. And if you want a good paying job, you need either a ton of experience or you really need a good backing from either your senior management or your bosses, who can really say that, hey, look, this guy or this girl can really do a good job. You should have them in your company. He'll do great. They have a lot of potential. To be
Yeah,
unique is just something else. It takes a really a creative soul, should I say, from inside, because I know a lot of my friends, who are really creative in their head, and I've told them face to face, I was like, you really have to start an Instagram page because that's the only way you'll start putting yourself out there, and a lot of people will start approaching you. Obviously, that's on their own as if they really want to start it or not. I'm just out here giving them tips. But you being in the marketing, I would say would you say it's kind of tough? Because people say that, oh, marketing is so much like sales, but it's an argument between is it really sales or is it not really sales? Because I personally feel it's not really sales because
it's two
y-
different things, I suppose.
yes, it's two different things. And people say that, oh, it's sales because you market your product. Okay, well, that's what market. I feel they're very interconnected. I feel they're very very
Okay.
interconnected because you know if you market your product well or your service well,
Yeah.
you know that your sales will skyrocket. It'll skyrocket far to the sky. You know that, anyone knows that very well. That's marketing 101, should I say. But if you don't, then your sales will slump. What do you think? I really want to hear your opinion on this.
I mean, it's like this. You can have a good marketing team and a product can be good to a certain extent, but like let's say people don't believe in it or like they can't connect to it. I wouldn't say people would buy it. Like you could let me give you an example of this. Okay, best example of this. Recently, McDonald's, a company that has billions of dollars, spends millions on marketing and all that. But with recent events, people completely just left them out. Why? Because they believe in a greater cause. And right now, McDonald's was not following in that cause. They were, trying to actually do something else. So when people don't believe in something, even though the marketing is good, they won't go for it. Sales actually plummeted despite all their marketing efforts. What do you think?
Yeah, and I think, you know, peop I would agree to that because everything has a root cause for, well, whatever happens in
Mhm.
the world. There is a root cause for everything. And if you just don't do that one thing correctly, you are
Fair
for sure gonna see some sort of a downfall. Be either if it's a major or minor, that depends. But if you're a really big company, like you said, if you're like a McDonald's or any other company, you know for a fact, you are gonna have a lot of things that you'll have a hit on your stock prices. You will have a hit on your customer loyalty. People will start judging you for on social media. You'll start receiving that backlash. And obviously, Twitter being Twitter, it's such an easy form. I feel social media is such an easy form to just communicate that sort of backlash that, oh, this company isn't doing that great, or this company should start doing that instead of this. It's so easy to put backlash forward, and I think, yeah, and you rightly pointed out that, marketing, you the importance of a strong marketing team couldn't be emphasized any further.
Yeah.
It couldn't be. Because, I work for a company that has a very strong marketing team, should I say, not company. Um, and, whenever I sit with them, I just realize how strong everyone's potentials are. Like, be it if it's the graphic designing team, or be it if it's the photography, videography team, or be it if it's just the general marketing team, you just realize, like, if someone from the outside just saw looking inside, they would just be like, why is this marketing team so good? Why is this marketing team is so good? Like, everyone would, yeah, even though I'm just, saying this, but I really feel marketing has such a strong potential going forward, especially with the rise of technology. Everyone says, oh yeah, AI is going to come take over your jobs, yada yada yada. But the whole point is that you you can't have you may be really good in technology. You might be amazing. But if you don't have a good marketing team to back it up, then that whole greatness in technology will not be there. In be it any company, small, medium, large, SMEs, whatever. If you don't
But
have a
then
strong
what
marketing.
about like personal branding? I mean, a company could not have like a good marketing, but what if the founder has a personal brand that people trust? In that aspect, I don't think you need a great marketing team for it, right? If you are selling yourself as a person and the product that comes along with it, I think that's a pretty good thing also.
I think what comes with personal branding is the whole point of personal branding is to ensure that the way that you market yourself connects back to the company. That's the whole point of personal branding. So I know one of my friends, he handles a personal branding page for a founder, and I was having a conversation with them, and they were telling me that I they always emphasized on connecting back to the company, connecting back to how they founded the company, what struggles did they get to, did they have any kind of days that where they just were like, just don't want to do this, or they like, just wanted to continue that, that sort of entrepreneurship hustle that they say. And
Hmm.
I wasn't surprised by it. I was like, man, I couldn't. You feel like you could relate to that because personal branding is such a hustle as well because you really want to get yourself out there. You really want to connect to your customers. But if your company doesn't do well, then the whole point of personal branding loses the connection. Because if you get into some kind of major
Hmm.
controversy, or if I talk about if one of your collaborations doesn't go well, or maybe one of your massive clients, they sort of talk really crappy about you, then pretty much you're doomed. Pretty much you're doomed because I feel personal branding, it's so interconnected to your employees, to your company, to your values, personal values and company values. So you really need to start getting yourself out there. And I think personal branding, it's a vast area. Anything could be personal
Hmm.
branding. So the way that you get yourself out there as well, like it could be just doing some random social media post or being a part of a podcast or doing a interview with some, you know, with some newspaper agency or with some magazines or whatever it might be. But it's still personal branding. You're still getting your name out there. So it's such a vast area, and that's why I love personal branding. It's such a great area. Um, I remember me and you were talking about this girl on Instagram, Fizza, right?
Yes, Fiza,
Fizza
yeah.
Kaim.
Yeah.
Fizza Kaim. And I just remember you introducing me her page, and I was just fascinated by this girl who lives somewhere in, I think it's in Bombay that she lives, if I'm not mistaken. And
Yeah.
the way that she brands herself, it is out of this world. And these were my exact words in verbatim to you. I was like, I was in shock because you never expect this such a just such level of creativity, especially with Indian people. So I'll just tell our audience that we aren't that creative compared to maybe our Western counterparts or our Eastern counterparts, but the
I would
level of
disagree. No,
really?
I would highly disagree. No, what do you mean?
I
I
don't
would highly disagree. I would say Asian countries are filled with creativity. I think we have some of the smartest minds working in the US. Do you not think all these, high-tech CEO companies, the CEOs are from Asia? So
no,
I would
yeah,
highly
no,
disagree
no,
with
no, no. The CEOs are great. I am not even going to deny that. We have the greatest minds. I'm not going to decide. But if I'm talking from a creative aspect, I'm talking about from a creative aspect. We don't have, I wouldn't say that great, we didn't have that great level of, creative mindset
creativity. No,
people, creativity
I
people.
disagree.
Really?
No,
Okay.
no, I would say Asians are very creative in that aspect. Some of the art, some of the ideas we come up with, I think yeah, we are not giving enough credit to us, man, to be very honest.
No, no, it's not
Um,
it's not about giving us Asians credit. I'm always I always speak very highly of our blood, of our Asian blood. But I feel yeah, but here's the thing. The only thing that will make my statement go back is with the current day and age that young people who are in their mid 18 tens 20s, they're around that 18 to 24 age range. They know
mhm.
their shit on their social media. They know them like by
Fair
heart.
enough.
It's like by heart, you know. And I think
Fair enough.
that and I think that's the point. If you don't know social media well,
You can
you're
always
done.
learn it.
You can all, you can obviously learn it, but you know, it's like in Starbucks, right? Like there's always like that secret menu that they'll have somewhere in the US or UK or wherever. There are some small secrets here and there that people may not even know. Like you may not come across like, okay, I'm kind of seeing this trend. What's up with this? Or kind of starting to see what this kind of, people are putting this up on their post. Why is that? Or people have stopped using hashtags, people say. Why is that for? So these small unique secrets, they're obviously hidden. You won't see them in the open, but if you want to start learning them, being in the
Hmm.
young age, like when you're 16, 17, 18, that is the best time I would say to learn all this. Because at
Hmm.
least that gives you that base to at least go forward and enhance your career. Like if you want to get into personal branding, be it personal branding. You want to start a creative agency, that's the best place. Instagram couldn't be much of a better place to start off anywhere. So yeah, I feel marketing is so
Fair enough.
unique. Marketing is so unique, right? And people say that, oh, marketing is so boring. You only create posts. I think I would say that was a mindset before that all you used to do was just the product in an ad, and then that's it. You just talk about it. And I'm like, and nowadays it's like marketing is not just putting out a product and being like, oh, yeah, this product can maybe remove all your dirty laundry in like 10 minutes or whatever it may be. So, but how you use marketing, that's on the company.
Hmm.
If it's through brand endorsement or if it's through a celebrity endorsement or whatever it may be. It's such a unique, it's so unique. What do you really think about marketing, especially going in the future?
I think, well, marketing is important, but personally, I would say if you're young and you're just starting out on life, I would say just create a little page for yourself and it shows your journey and stuff. Because like you can see the process that you went through, right? So later on, when you look back, you will see what you've gone through, and also people sort of be along with you for that journey. So there's a full sense of, trustworthiness, and they take your word for it, right? So I think starting a personal brand when you have nothing or like you're growing, it's a great way to go forward. Because I think everyone nowadays is trying to engage in content and just watch it. But if you're one of those few people who creates it from the beginning, I think you'll be a step above everyone else for sure.
Hmm. Yeah, and I think, you know, it's so important and great that you really pointed out because people obviously start with absolutely nothing. They have zero clue. If you're
Hmm.
launching a product or a service, you know absolutely nothing about the industry that you really want to get into. Just a random
Hmm.
page and of personal branding, and you're just out there by yourself. You really and the importance of being yourself. Like I remember to our audience, I would also say this that Jonathan has a personal branding page of himself where he describes his journey. So yeah, it's called Janet Nomadic. So if you really want to give us, if you really want to give it a follow on Instagram, please do. We'll certainly put this up on our description page. But I remember watching your first few videos, and I just remember telling myself, "Damn." That was like the only word that just came out. Like, damn, I really, really wish. And that just showed you. It didn't show like some alternative, character of you, but that was just you being you. And I remember telling you this when I saw your first episode. I remember I was like, I love that you were being you, and there was nothing else. And I really hope that this page really goes forward, gets you more leads or gets you connected to a lot more people. And especially on Threads, and I see how you really comment on a lot of people who maybe are following who want to follow a random creative agency or people who are in that creative mindset. And I really want to give you props for that. So good job
Thank
to
you.
you, bud. Good job to you. Good job to you.
Thank you, thank you. No, I do. I think I told you this as well. You should start it. Start your own brand. It may not,
Yeah.
it may be nothing. You might have one or two few followers, but hey, at least, over time you can look back and see the journey you took and your progress. And definitely it will make you, I would say, more marketable as well, because you're always trying to give a story or create something. It's interesting. To be honest, like the first few videos are a bit weird because you don't really know what you're doing, and there's a sense of fright because you're just putting yourself out there. But it's kind of fun, and then you get to tell different stories, and then people who like you for you, like your quirks, your weirdness, will follow you. And yeah, the rest you can just tell them to F off. Doesn't really matter. You start to learn to not care.
Yeah. And I think you'll obviously you'll receive that sort of backlash. You'll hear people's opinions that, oh, this
Hmm.
video isn't that great, or this logo isn't that great. But at the end of the day, you need to realize that it's you who is making the decision. People might have opinions about 1,000 different things that they may not like about you. They may not like who you are or your character or your
Hmm.
personality or anything else for that matter of fact. But the importance of you making the decision, making sure that you are the one uh, who's recording and saying that I really want to put myself out there by saying this. And people have their opinions. You just need to know how to cut the noise. That's pretty much
Honestly.
it.
And yeah, I would say don't take any advice from people like you wouldn't anyway be going for. Especially like let's say they give you all this feedback, but they have nothing to show for it. Don't listen to them. Just do what you want the way you want it, and then you will learn from yourself as you go along. I would say that's like the biggest factor when it comes to doing stuff like this. You take so many answers and you take so much all this advice from people, and then it just makes you like, I don't know, doubt yourself. So just do whatever the hell you want, and you will learn from yourself. Yeah,
That's
for
true.
me at least.
That's that's true. That's true. So yeah, I think if we come back to the main topic of career options, the rise of
Mhm.
technology, it's an artificial intelligence. I think it'll give a more clear path to the upcoming generations because
Mhm.
they may feel that, oh, there's no job out there or whatever. So I feel it'll give them that sense of clarity,
Mhm.
especially when it comes up to this. What do you think?
Yeah, for the younger generations, absolutely. I think going forward, people do need to figure out some stuff and consider. I mean, now we've only spoken about marketing in this career, like in this career field, but there are so many other things also.
Hmm.
I think we just focus on what we were doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it is true. Marketing is a good aspect to go for. I think that's because you and I both did it.
Hmm.
But yeah,
Yeah. Well, we certainly hope that this episode really gives our audience a clear sense of what to expect in the future, what they can really do with their personal branding. And in the future episode, who knows, we may have a special guest who may talk about the marketing field in further. So yeah, thank you for joining us today in our third episode, and we would like to thank you for listening, and we'll see you in our next episode. Bye bye.
absolutely. Bye bye.